As we get a look at the barge setup in the pool here this year, always finding new ways to ratchet up the party around the competition. But Chris Widener, tonight we're about to get started with the women's competition. 16 women, 12 invited athletes, and 4 qualifiers. What are you looking to see here with the women?
Gosh, well, I'm really excited to see the very first matchup is going to be Michaela Kierch, and she is our #1 seeded athlete. And all the seeding tonight was determined last night. So Michaela got the fastest time to the top of the wall last night. I'm really excited to see Michaela right now. How about you, man?
Yeah, Michaela looked very strong yesterday. It was a little hard to tell with the women's field, though. They were kind of cautious during the seeding round. Nobody really was, stepping on the gas on the route. We'll see how it pans out here. They're going to have to go a lot faster, a lot harder. I think we're going to see that coming up here first with Michaela Kierch. She'll be on the left, facing off against JC Hunter on the right.
Now, what's important to remember with this competition is that if both competitors get to the top, it comes down to speed. But if they don't, it's the high point. So if yesterday was any indication of how the women are going to do today, most will probably top out the wall. So the women's field may come down to a speed competition in a way.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. We saw yesterday the women's route was very doable, and we'll talk more about the men's later, but the men's route was quite a bit more difficult. Not very many men were able to do it, but for the women, quite a few of them were able to top out the route. And it hasn't changed much since yesterday, so they're going to be pretty familiar with it. They're going to be able to go really fast now that they know the moves. They know the points where they can go faster, where they have to be careful, that sort of thing. So we'll start to see some strategy come into play here as we get our round of 16 underway. That's absolutely right. Michaela Kierch climbing on the left out of Chicago, Illinois. 21-year-old climber. One of the best young climbers in the country, against JC Hunter, 38-year-old from Salt Lake City, climbing in her 4th Psicobloc Masters. Climbers will traverse out onto the wall over the pool. This wall is 55 feet tall over pool that's about 16.5 feet deep. It is a long way down, especially as you get higher up on the wall. And as we talked to a lot of the competitors during seeding yesterday and before finals tonight, they don't really get used to the height of the wall. It never really gets easier. Always a little uncomfortable out there on the wall, and that's exactly what we're going to see here. You can see there in the pool they've got jets under the water that can kind of disperse the tension in the surface of the water, actually sort of lessen the fall for the climbers as they fall, especially in the middle part of the wall. See the lifeguards standing by. We saw them in action quite a bit last night, just trying to take a proactive approach to safety, making sure all the competitors are safe, able to get out of the water okay. Really appreciate them being here. That's right, yeah, we even have a scuba diver on site just in case. And actually an interesting tidbit, one of the female final hold apparently last night fell into the water, and it is still on the bottom of the pool. I'm curious whether they're going to utilize the scuba diver to grab that final hold, but as it is, it looks like they missed that boat, so to speak. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to go get it, that's for sure. So, yeah. And Chris, it's interesting to see the dynamic with the route come into play here. The women know that it's doable. They know they need to get to the top, and so it's going to be interesting to see how they play off each other. See, is my opponent going fast or slow, and how they adjust to that as the competition unfolds here. Yeah, that's right, because basically it's just one against the other. Whoever you see on the wall, in this case Michaela Kierch and JC Hunter, they will be going head-to-head. Whoever wins this round will move on. So whoever gets the highest here, if the other competitor falls, let's say, there's no need for the other competitor who's ahead to even climb to the top of the wall because they've won that round. So it is strategy. If they want more practice on the upper part of the wall, they may choose to go to the top. But if they want to conserve their energy for the next round, which comes all too soon for these ladies, then they may just choose to jump off. So you got a good look there at the athlete village, so to speak, over there, the warm-up area. The climbers have a tread wall and a interesting pull-up wall. You see Ben Hanna on it there. Climbers also have a hot tub to keep warm after they get out of the pool. Man, I kind of wish I had one of those in my garage. That thing looks strange, but sure would be good.
I could use some of that training.
Sounds like we're still getting introductions of the athletes. There will be 16 women. Nice mix of familiar names, I think, for people at home, and some new faces, some younger climbers that qualified in the qualifier on Wednesday night. Always exciting to see the wild cards come out of that round. You don't really know who's going to come and show up. Last year, Charlotte DeRief showed up, came out of the qualifying round and won the entire competition for the women, so don't sleep on the qualifiers.
That's absolutely right, because this year we also have Natalie Bartschi from Switzerland, and for the men we also have her boyfriend Remo Sommer, and who knows how these people are going to compete. I mean, I can tell from their resumes they're very, very strong climbers, and I'm sure they have a very good chance at this. So yeah, who knows? Charlotte DeRief won last year for the women. Maybe Natalie Bartschi will be a dark horse. But like you mentioned, there are the old guard as well. Representing them is, of course, Angie Payne and Emily Harrington, names you've heard for a long, long time in competitions, over a decade at least.
Looks like we are about to get started. Rain delay is thankfully over. We are about to get started with the 2016 Psicobloc Masters. Michaela Kierch and JC Hunter kicking things off. The crowd is getting excited. A packed house here at the Olympic Training Center in Park City, Utah.
And the packed house has been waiting, just like you have, for almost an hour for this to start, an extra hour. So yeah, the excitement is visceral here at Utah Olympic Park in Park City, Utah. Michaela always climbs confidently, it seems.
And Michaela's been climbing for about 14 years, well over half of her life. She's a very decorated youth competitor. Just recently completed her hardest sport routes down the Red River Gorge. JC Hunter, also a very accomplished climber in her own right, and a mother of 4, not something most competitors here can say.
Full-time job, mother of 4, and she's happened to put up 14B outdoors. So JC Hunter, our oldest competitor, is definitely one to be reckoned with. But like I started out, Michaela her track record this year in particular has been just outstanding in competitions. She climbs confidently, smoothly. She seems to have fun with it too. That's one of the greatest qualities in Michaela. She always seems to have a smile on her face, and that's going to get her to the top of the wall. Last night, she climbed this wall effortlessly, like we're seeing right now.
And during the seating last night, JC took a pretty nasty fall, so it's good to see that she's feeling well enough to compete here. But she did not finish the route yesterday, so this is going to be new territory for her coming up here. Michaela finished the route both times during her seating round last night, so she's going to have confidence coming up into this section, just kind of measuring herself against JC right now. No, she does not have to push it too hard.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because I think at this point on, JC is on-sighting this. She has not even been on this train, whereas Michaela climbed this already twice. It looks like Michaela is just taking that strategy of waiting it out. She knows she's got plenty of time on JC, so why waste energy? Why take any risks at this point?
Michaela looking very calm, very confident right now. One move away from finishing.
And the athletes finish the route when both hands are at the top of the wall. There's no such thing as jumping and slapping the top to count. They have to get both hands controlled just like Michaela. And there goes JC.
So Michaela Kierch going to be moving on. Great showing from JC Hunter. Once again this year, always great to see her out here. But Michaela Kierch, our #1 seed, moving on to the next round.
Yeah, and at this point for Michaela, it's actually probably not a big deal to jump from the top anymore. She's gotten some practice in the qualifying round.
I think we'll see Michaela down climb a little bit. Saw a lot of competitors do this yesterday. Takes a little bit of the sting out of jumping from this 55-foot wall. All part of the strategy. And we'll move right along to our next matchup. As soon as Michaela gets out of the pool, competitors, you can see them standing by at the base of the wall. A real classic matchup here, Chris. Angie Payne against Emily Harrington.
This is going to be awesome. Both relatively slow climbers compared to modern day speed climbers, which is basically the skill set that is required to win on this. So I think it's going to be a tough one. Both of them topped out yesterday, and I don't know. I don't know what to think, actually. What do you think?
Well, this is a kind of a fun pairing. It's almost like you scripted this, but this is based on the seedings. But you know, Angie, obviously a well-known boulderer. This is definitely a competition that pushes her way out of her comfort zone. But she said she's feeling pretty good after yesterday's seeding round.
Which is a departure from the past where she's appeared pretty scared. So this year must be kind of a breakthrough for Angie, who works for USA Climbing, actually. And also of note, Angie is 30 years old, Emily is 29. So they've both been competing for years and years. They both have many titles under their belts.
Angie out to an early lead here. Both climbers did finish the route during seeding yesterday, so they are familiar with this. Just a matter of how quickly they can piece together these moves. Angie looking very comfortable right now.
What we've seen in the past, Brian, is Angie feeling comfortable up to about 2/3 height, and then a little discomfort. And if that's the case again, that'll work to Emily's advantage. But who knows? She did look great on it yesterday.
Yeah, just from watching yesterday, the route seemed a little bit easier than in past years. The climbers looked a lot more comfortable, especially as they got to the mid and upper parts of the wall. You can see that, especially like her left-hand holder, that is a pretty good hold. So the climbers were able to kind of move pretty comfortably. Interesting to know that Emily Harrington spends as much time in the high mountains these days as she does rock climbing, so it's fun to see her out here letting the pigtails fly. Angie pushing onto the head wall. She is well out in front right now. She's going to, Emily, excuse me, is going to need Angie to fall. She wants to move on.
Very impressive show by Angie. Like I said, she's been visibly scared in the past, but right now, she doesn't appear to feel any fear.
Both climbers just looking they're out for an afternoon climb as Angie Payne going to be moving on in this matchup against Emily Harrington. She'll be facing Michaela Kierch in the next round. Always great to have Emily Harrington, though, out here at the Seco Comp. Always a crowd favorite. One of my favorites to watch. She's going to keep getting her money's worth, though.
Yeah, why not? She can take those braids to the summit.
Emily getting the crowd behind her.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually that Emily has done less rock climbing lately. It's just she's been better known for her mountain feats lately, but she still gets out and crushes on rock often and still very, very hard.
See Angie cheering on Emily from the top there.
Oh, that's a cute shot right there.
Longtime friends. You know it's got to be fun for them to be out here competing on this stage. Emily making it to the top. Not going to be moving on, but great for them.
Good thing there's a thank God jug on that sloping top.
Yeah, Angie said that the top out was actually a little scary. You're mantling at 55 feet.
And there's probably still a bit of moisture up there.
Yeah, that's right. It was raining pretty heavy. The bottom of the wall felt pretty dry when I went over there, but the top definitely got wet. Seems like it's okay, though, for the competitors. Looks like we're going to get a synchronized dive here.
A little team play in there. Love it. Hashtag Old Guard Splash. Love it.
Angie Payne moving on to the quarterfinal. She'll be facing Michaela Kierch.
You can see in her face she is very happy with that one. I think she may have even surprised herself, Brian.
Yeah, she looked really good on that, Chris. She's really going to have a workout out for her in the next round, though, going up against our #1 qualifier. Going to have to really turn it on. We'll see how that goes in a little bit. But up next, our next matchup, Tori Perkins against Andrea Szekely. Tori on the left, Andrea on the right.
Tori is 17 years old from Atlanta, Georgia, and new to me, Brian.
Yeah, Tori's one of our wildcard qualifiers from the other night. Another one of those excellent youth competitors, climbing out of Stone Summit down there in Georgia. Hard not to be a good climber climbing out of that gym. Incredible facilities down there.
A lot of names coming out of there. And Andrea Szekely, of course, she is living in Boulder, Colorado. She's in her late 20s, and she has been climbing for at least 20 years.
Andrea has been in Seco Comp before, made it into the quarterfinals 2 years ago. Not known for her speed.
You know, that's funny. I talked to Andrea before the comp, and she scolded me with a laugh, thankfully, for making fun of her in last year's comp for climbing so slowly. She definitely is not climbing slowly now. They both have a good chance at this point.
Tori out to lead here right now. She did finish the route yesterday during qualifiers, or during seeding, excuse me. So Andrea knows that she's going to have to pick up the pace here. She sticks that big jug in the middle of the roof. Such a unique format here. The competitors can see their opponent and adjust as they go up the route. That's not typical in competition. Usually it's just you with yourself on the wall, and you don't really know what you need to do to advance or to place. But a Seco Comp, you can see exactly what you need to do at all times.
Tori making it look easy. Very impressive climbing from her.
And that's going to be Tori Perkins moving on to the quarterfinals over Andrea Szekely.
Excellent show by Tori Perkins, and I'm happy for Andrea right now, still putting up a fight, not too far from the top. Tori leaning over to support her friend.
This is 2 matchups in a row now, Chris, where one climber was out to the lead and the other climber didn't really adjust or try to go faster or make any sort of reaction. Really, they just kept climbing at the pace that they had been climbing at the whole time.
I dare say that's not something we're going to see with the men. They
Definitely
tend to look
not
at
as
each other.
Andrea goes for the ride.
Yep.
Yeah, the men.
The men tend to be a bit more cutthroat, don't they?
It got ruthless last night during the seeding round.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to that later. As Tori Perkins will be moving on for the women over Andrea Szekely. She'll face the winner of our next matchup here between Paige Claassen and Jules Jimreivat.
Now this will be an interesting matchup. Paige is another member of the old guard in a way, and she's been at this Seco Comp now at least a couple other years. Always does fairly well, it seems. She seemed particularly fit and focused yesterday, and I'm really excited to see her. Jules Jimreivat is a new name to me, but she certainly proved that she belongs in this competition yesterday. She climbed very well. So I'm really excited about this next matchup.
Yeah, it's fun to see Paige out here. She doesn't usually compete. Seco Comp seems to be able to pull her out of her retirement, as it were.
That's right.
Quietly one of the best climbers in the country and even in the world. So it's really a treat to see Paige out here.
Absolutely. Yeah, Jules Jimreivat on the right, and it looks like they started off on a mission. I think they both want this.
Jules, one of our qualifiers from Wednesday night. We're seeing a different dynamic here in this matchup, Chris.
And just to clarify, when Brian said Paige is out of her retirement, that did not mean from climbing. That just simply meant from comps. But yeah, she certainly is still one of the best climbers anywhere. Wow, they're putting the pressure on each other. This is the first real fight we've seen.
Yeah, this is the Seco Comp people came to see here, Chris. Competitors are moving quickly up this wall. Jules looks very comfortable.
She sure does.
It's her first year at the Seco comp. Little foot slip, but she recovered nicely. As Paige just about even with her as they're pulling onto the head wall.
Now,
and Jules.
She's leaving it open for Paige, who
Jules.
recently got married and changed her name to DeCock. So it's no longer Claassen, it's Paige DeCock, and she has now moved on.
Wow, Jules looked in control there, Chris, and she just bobbled that move, lost her feet, and that was it. Paige, cool and collected to the top of the wall. She'll be moving on to face Tori Perkins in the quarterfinals.
Oh yeah, she's happy about that one. Awesome. Yeah, great show from Paige.
All right, we are halfway through our first round of women competitors. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our next batch of climbers.
Limit yourself, or unlimit yourself.
Welcome back to 2016 Psicobloc Masters. We are live at the Utah Olympic Park in Park City, Utah. Brian Reynolds and Chris Widener here poolside calling the action here, getting ready for the men's semifinal, Chris.
That's right. This is going to be an exciting one. We have Jan Hojer, who is seeded as #1 from last night, versus Ben Hanna, who is climbing with a purpose tonight. He is just crushing it.
He really has his work cut out for him, though, Chris. Jan is looking unassailable right now so far through 2 rounds, but we've seen anything can happen to slip. There's that dyno, there's that top crux. Definitely possible for anything to happen here.
If I knew what unassailable meant, Brian, I'd probably agree with you. We also have Carlo Traversi versus Nathaniel Coleman, and Nathaniel, God, he has just been looking flawless. But then there's Carlo. He also is looking flawless. It's really hard to say who's going to win that one.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible semifinal here. All these guys trying to get into the final. Trying to take that coveted Seco Comp crown. Joining the likes of Jimmy Webb and Sean McCall as past champions for the men.
All right, we got Jan and Ben. Let's get you guys up. Get you on deck.
Looks like there's a party going on back in the athlete area there, Chris.
Yeah, we got...
Gonna need a bigger hot tub next year.
Zang. Yeah, we got we got folks in the hot tub chilling. We got fires all around, drying chalk bags and shoes. There's like gourmet food, or at least I like to think there's gourmet food. At least there's Cliff Bars in the back.
Gourmet bars.
Yeah, it's a cool scene here. It's a different scene, vastly different than any other competition, which is why Psicobloc Masters is such a special competition. And having talked to a lot of the athletes earlier tonight, it's special to them too. They come here and they have fun. And this is just not the serious competition that bouldering nationals is, or sport climbing nationals, or even just the local comps. This is something that athletes come to do. None of them have that much experience like outdoors or doing other comps like this, really. So,
not a lot of practice at the Seco Comp discipline.
And it's not like they're out training for it. So one reason this comp is so special.
Jan trying to find a dry spot there to get started.
You guys are getting broadcasted worldwide live on the web, right as we speak. We got world-class climbers, speed difficulty, climbing up a 5-story building, side walls, still first by wall to appear.
Climbers getting into position. Looking at the brackets here, Chris, not a lot of upsets, similar to the women. We expected the men's field to be a little bit more dynamic in that regard, but so far most of the favorites have made it through.
The great exception, of course, was Jimmy Webb getting trounced in the first. Trounced is pushing it, but Jimmy Webb not moving on from the first round. But yeah, you're right. It's kind of going as the seeding numbers would explain.
We'll see if Ben Hanna can upset our #1 qualifier, Jan Hojer.
Putting on liquid chalk right now, which is actually a crucial piece of equipment here at the Seco Comp. Having that liquid chalk get on you and dry your hands and keep your hands dry for a little bit longer than they otherwise would if you just put regular chalk on.
Yeah, you'll notice there's not a lot of time for chalking up on this route.
All right, let's get my competitors to traverse on in when they're ready. Happy with their route, let's do it.
Every second counts, as we've seen, especially in that close battle between Carlo Traversi and Matty Hong that got Carlo into the semifinal. Climbers were so close. And I think as we get deeper into this men's competition, it's just going to get even closer. Similar to how we saw with the women.
All right, Jan and Ben.
Climbers really up their game as the comp progresses. I think we are about ready to get started with our first men's semifinal. Climbers are in position.
Ready, set, go! Ben so tight. He's got that super speedy.
Fast start from Ben Hanna.
Jan's not going to be left in the dust.
But we saw that happen with Jan in the previous round. This opponent got off to a fast start, and he just made up ground in a hurry.
These guys have to still be pumped from their previous rounds.
Ben Hanna feeling it after that dyno. You can see him just exploding up the wall, keeping pace with Jan Hojer. In fact, maybe a half move ahead right now. But Ben struggling on that move. That cost him a lot of time. He was ahead of Jan Hojer there, but now Jan pulling ahead by a move. Now 2 moves. Ben's gonna
they both want it so bad.
Ben is going to have to hurry, or Jan has got to make a mistake. But Jan Hojer powering through into the final. Great show from Ben Hanna, though. He was ahead for a lot of that round.
Oh, wow. What an incredible competition. Look at that showmanship and sportsmanship up top. Just barely beating Ben Hanna. Jan Hojer at the top first, and he will be moving on. They're both excited. They are both excited after doing that sprint.
You can see after Ben stuck the dyno, he got really excited and was powering through those next moves, and it really served him well. But then he struggled on moving off that volume. You could see him hesitate, and that's where Jan made his decisive move, would not relinquish the lead after that.
Yeah, there's some tricky footwork in there, including like a heel-hand match and some crossovers that just are technical enough that they slow the climber down if it's hard. And it is hard for everyone up there. So yeah, it's just goes to show the skill involved with someone like both of these guys up there, being able to climb through that stuff so fast.
Let's do it on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back. Awesome. Cool to see him having fun up there at the top. Let's get my next round of competitors up there.
And with that, we'll get set for our next semifinal. It'll be Carlo Traversi and Nathaniel Coleman facing off for a spot in the final. Vying to face off against Jan Hojer. I think we saw in that last round that Jan definitely vulnerable to be beaten. We saw Ben keep pace with him pretty well for most of the route there. Just without a couple bobbles there, he might have taken it.
We got Carlo Traversi, the local boy, Nathaniel Coleman.
Remember, Carlo and Nathaniel both just climbed within the last 10 or 15 minutes. It's going to be both of their third routes of the evening in a pretty short period of time here, so fatigue is definitely going to start coming into play here. But it's balanced by the fact that the climbers are getting more familiar with the moves on each run up the wall. And in many cases, even when the climbers get more fatigued, they actually still perform better just because of that familiarity with the moves. Their muscle memory starts to kick in, and they're able to just execute without having to worry about getting too tired.
I don't know if I've seen more liquid chalk ever applied than what Carlo just had on his hands. You know he wants it.
Let's just fill the pool with liquid chalk.
All right, boys. Let's get ready. Get those legs, the dragon, and extra weight up that wall.
Yeah, you can tell these guys are nervous. They're both fit for the top, and they just need to make it happen. No mistakes. Simple as that.
This is a really exciting matchup here, Chris. Two of our top qualifiers, Carlo and Nathaniel.
All right, you got Carlo and your local boy Nathaniel Coleman.
Gonna put it all out here right now. Punch their ticket to the final.
Go! Oh man,
Carlo off to a quick start.
Great competitors. You guys want to see a local take on
What's crazy from here is that every time they grab a hold, it looks as if they're just Velcroing onto a surface. What you can't tell is that they just really need to grab these holds very, very precisely and in a certain way. And they're so good and so fast that they're making it just look easy.
Saw Nathaniel make up a little bit of ground on that dyno when he reeled it in with the second hand, pulling ahead of Carlo right now. They are still neck and neck.
Come on, Nathaniel. Come on, Carlo. Come on, a good show.
Carlo just a half move behind right now. Just a few moves to go. It's anyone's game right now. Nathaniel Coleman pulling it out.
Oh.
One move ahead of Carlo Traversi.
Wow. Nathaniel Coleman pulling it off at the last moment again. What a perfect matchup between Carlo and Nathaniel.
You can tell these guys have really dialed in this route, Chris. They are not making it look hard at all. So that's going to set up our final between Jan Hojer and Nathaniel Coleman, our top two qualifiers.
Yep, I got to say that is no surprise. Many of these guys could have been in those two spots, but it's no surprise.
As these climbers get off the wall, will be another break to let them recover for just a little bit before the final. Let them catch their breath. Depump just a little bit. So just a few minutes, gonna have our final between Nathaniel Coleman and Jan Hojer. But first,
right now we have Jimmy Webb in the booth with us. Previous two-time champion here at Psicobloc, and he was out on the first round. Tell us about the first round. How did it go?
Just got pumped, man. The route's pretty, it's harder this year, and it's just pretty consistent, and the last couple holds up there are pretty small, you know, so you get tucked in real tight, and, you know, I just got loaded, man. I don't know. I haven't been sport climbing much recently, and, you know, they did a great job with the route this year, and they made it really consistent. It builds as you go, so, you know, maybe we'll see some guys like melting off the top here in the final. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just a great show from you. We're all surprised, I'd have to say, to see you fall off, but God, what a great route. Like you said, it looks like it was just perfectly set.
It's perfectly set route, and it's hard. Yeah, like I said, it's a hard route this year, so have to come back next year a little bit, you know, better prepared for what they're trying to do to us out there, you know?
Yeah, it seems like the route this year, you can't climb with as much reckless abandon maybe as last year's, and 2 years ago especially, you could climb really fast. The holds were a little bit bigger, I think. How does that change your approach when you're thinking about, like, you know, if somebody's ahead of you, like, how do you make up ground? How do you approach the overall climb?
Well, I mean, basically, like, I mean, a lot of people are topping the route right now, you know, but like yesterday, only like 2 people topped the route, so you didn't really think that you'd actually have to worry about speed at all. You thought maybe like, okay, I just need to try to make it to the top of the wall and hope my opponent might, you know, fall off the last few moves, which is what happened a lot yesterday. So yeah, it's a totally different strategy. The last couple of years have been just more like fast pace and, you know, crazy. And this year is a bit more, you have to be a bit more methodical. So chalking up, making sure you get the holds right and pacing yourself. Because if you go real fast, like without even, you know, without pacing yourself, then you're going to melt off the top. And that's exactly what I did. I kind of hit high gear too fast, and by the time I got to the top, I was a little too loaded to finish it out. So it goes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, great show up there. It was always so fun to watch you.
For sure.
And
Cool.
yeah, all of these guys are super strong. It's
It's
just
a strong
great.
field this year, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I think this place is getting more popular every year. So
And what about the final, Jimmy? These guys have climbed the route 3 times now, so they're going to be more tired but more familiar with the route. What's it like in the final?
I'm thinking it's going to be just a fast-paced like brawl between those two guys, man. Like they're both really good competitors. They're both really good under pressure. Jan is a seasoned veteran when it comes to World Cup climbing. He's been, climbing the circuit for years on end. So he's a competitor, man. He's gonna put Nathaniel to the test. And Nathaniel's an up-and-comer, one of the strongest kids I've climbed with in a long time, and he's in the same boat, So this is gonna be it's gonna be an epic battle, I think. I'm pretty psyched to watch it.
Nice. And that epic battle will probably be over in less than a minute.
Maybe 45 seconds, probably tops. That's what I'm calling.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us here, Jimmy. Really appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah, great to see you out here, Jimmy. Thanks.
Cheers, guys.
Big thanks to Jimmy Webb, 2-time champion of this event, coming back for another year. Not able to make it out of the first round. Like you said, anything could happen out there. It's a really difficult route, and I think it's been really a great route as far as showcasing what these competitors are capable of.
Absolutely, Brian. I think in the past we've had routes that were a little too hard and then possibly a little too easy, and this just really does seem to be perfectly set for the men. And as Jimmy said, this really will be a brawl. It's going to be great.
Speaking of a brawl there, the local mascots, 2 ducks hanging out in the pool.
That's right. You know what? They're so cool. I love them. I feel like they're both females, though, aren't they?
I'm not really a naturalist, so I hesitate to guess. But they've been having a good time out there in the pool all night.
They've made it for life, it appears, whoever they are.
All right, once again, we are in our athlete break right now, giving these finalists a chance to recover just a little bit, get ready for the final coming up in just a few minutes. We're going to hang tight here poolside, get some more athlete interviews for you, hoping to talk to our women's champion, Michaela Kierch, #1 qualifier for the women. Came out here, made it look pretty easy, Chris.
That's right. Michaela dominated every single round, and she deserves the win, period.
Now she's going to be bringing it home for Chicago and the whole Midwest crew out there. I know a lot of people out there watching, excited to see her take the title this year. We are efforting a couple guests at the moment. Going to be joined in just a second by Michaela Kierch. Fresh off her victory.
Michaela Kierch, welcome to the booth, and big congratulations. I'm so happy
Great job.
to have seen you do that up there. First of all, just tell us a bit about how it felt in that final round.
Honestly, when you're climbing the route, I kind of get super in the zone, and I just want to climb as fast as possible. So I think I changed my sequence a couple times, but then when I got to the top, it's like a huge deflated moment where you're kind of oh, I need to breathe, I need to chill out. But I'm super psyched to have accomplished my goal. I really wanted to win. I've been working hard all year, so I'm happy to be here.
That's awesome. Yeah, so speaking of working hard all year, you've been placing really well in a lot of comps. You've been working toward this. What prepared you for this comp, and how have you done so well all year?
So I did this cycle comp last year, or 2 years ago, and last year I took a year off, and I didn't do a practice run, so I kind of went into it cold turkey, and was kind of psyched because I didn't remember how nervous I used to be, so the fear factor was kind of gone, and then as soon as I knew I could get to the top, I was way more focused on climbing as fast as I could.
Nice. That's awesome.
Well, it looks like we're getting close here for the men. What do you make of the men's field? What do you make of the men's field here?
I think the men's route is so much harder than what we had, and doing those dynos, I know I would definitely be nervous. You have to be so confident. You have to be really confident going into it, and I know I didn't jump off the top because I'm such a weenie. I'm so scared of jumping into water from that height. I'm not sure why, but it takes a lot of bravery and confidence to get to the top of that wall and then take the plunge.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thanks so much, Michaela, for joining us, and congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, awesome job.
Michaela Kierch, our 2016 Psicobloc Masters champion for the women. Incredible job by her. I think she's going to have a good night. It looks like we're about ready to get started with our men's final. Jan Hojer will be climbing on the left side of the wall up against Nathaniel Coleman on the right, our top two qualifiers.
Both of these guys are more than competent to get to the top of this wall. It's going to come down to speed, but they know that it's easy to make a mistake. Either of these guys could win. This is going to be a great matchup, and it's going to be over fast.
Yeah, do not turn away from your TV or viewing device.
Devices.
This is round 4 of the 5-4 team. This is like world class. 4 5-4 teams in less than an hour. These are world class athletes, giving it everything. Yeah, no, it's so fun. It's one of the amazing things to say. Team has just been so much fun to have over the years. He's got so much experience in this world. And man, he just set a great route. He just set the path over in Canada. And he's super psyched, so we're really fortunate to have him down. John Hojer just providing that. All right. It's happening. The boys
All right, here we go. The men's final about to start. Jan Hojer and Nathaniel Coleman getting in position, ready to blast off towards the championship. Here we go. An incredible start for both guys.
In the men's final.
Great start for both climbers. The dyno is where there's really been a lot of separation here. Jan first through it, but Nathaniel right behind him. They are move for move.
Wow, they are still move for move. 3/4 of the way up this wall.
Jan making a slight bobble there. Nathaniel pulling ever so slightly ahead. The crowd is going nuts here. They want to see it.
Oh my.
These guys are getting out of control. It is nuts here. It is
to the
move
top.
to move. Jan Hojer.
Oh!
Jan Hojer, 2016 Psicobloc champion.
Insane.
Slam dunks Nathaniel Coleman 55 feet
Wow.
to the pool.
And Nathaniel Coleman had made that move look so easy every other time, but he was just at his red limit up there and missed the top. He has got to be satisfied with that effort anyway.
Nathaniel Coleman is spent. Jan Hojer is psyched. Back-to-back Seco comp victories for him after winning in Milan last year.
What
Now
an
winning
amazing
here
show
in
by
Park
Jan
City.
Hojer.
Incredible energy from both climbers at the top of the wall there. Chris, you can see them, just the psych just coming out of them on each move.
Wow. And just like that, we have a men's winner, Jan Hojer, the new champion 2016 Psicobloc Masters.
What an incredible finish. That is a good ending, Mike Call, yes. That is the way we like to finish here at the Seco Comp.
And just like that, we also have Chris Sharma joining us here in the booth. First, we're going to hear Jan. Okay, so Chris Sharma in the booth. Thanks for coming here.
Of course, man. Thank you guys for being here. What an amazing night.
Yeah.
So great to see it all come together. Every year trying to, step it up a little bit more.
Absolutely. How's it been this year?
Well, this year, as you can see, we've got a new wall, lots of amazing competitors, and I think the route setting was really on. They created a really perfect show, and that was what we were trying to achieve. We had a little bit of a scare with the rain. After last year, it was. I kind of felt terrified for a sec that we were going to have another year like that, but then when it cleared away, And you know, personally, just super psyched that I was able to climb the route this time. You know, in the practice round, I wasn't able to do the dyno, so I was a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
And no, it's great. You know, this is like a big celebration for climbing, and I think everyone had a great time, and I think we all achieved what we set out to achieve, to like really show our sport in this amazing way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I would imagine everyone else would agree, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
100%. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Anything else about tonight's competition, in particular the men's field? What did you just think of this?
I mean, what an amazing final with Nathaniel and Jan.
Yeah.
Like, you know, photo finish, and I think, you know, one of the delicate sides of this competition from a climber standpoint is we're trying to have this head-to-head format. You know, it's really like a great way to show off our sport to the mainstream, but we still want to maintain its authenticity. And we don't want it to become just a speed climb. So I think the route was set really perfectly. It was about a 5:14 something, and it was set really well. You know, Danny Andrada, Stephen Jeffries, Miguel Riera, they did an amazing job. And, I mean, the whole team, everyone, you know, came together the whole community, you know, to everyone to come together to make this event a success. So, pretty happy. Yeah.
What do you think about the future of the Seco comp? Do you see it moving to different venues? We had the comp in Milan last year. We've had the comp here for 4 years. Where do you see the future going?
So we did Milan last year. We're going to be doing Sydney later on this year.
Oh, wow.
Hope to do it again in Milan, perhaps another European destination, maybe Asia. So yeah, we're hoping to build out like a whole world tour. And yeah, it's cool. You know, you have the World Cups, which is very, you know, going to the Olympics, which is super exciting. And I feel like Sickle Comp is kind of capturing this, you know, maybe a little more playful side of climbing, which is really fun. I think you know, both have their place, and yeah, it's an exciting time to see our sport kind of grow, and especially an event like this, I feel like, yeah, it's great to see it so receptive, and yeah, pretty special to see it all come together.
Yeah, it's been a big week for climbing. As climbing made it into the Olympics, it was announced this week, and then the Seco Comp, great. Atmosphere here, really exciting final. Michaela Kierch winning for the women. What did you make of the women's field?
I mean, I think it was very similar. I mean, it was set really well. There was that same kind of photo finish. So I mean, like, all of the athletes did an amazing job. They all really went for it, which is not easy when you're climbing, you know, 55 feet over the water, right? It's easy to like hold back a little, and I think. I mean, one of the really tricky things is, like, from a competitor's perspective, for myself at least, is staying focused and precise while having this like little bit of time pressure.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to get sloppy or panic a little bit and all of a sudden lose your technique. So that's kind of the cool thing. You have to climb well and of course fast. So I think it's a pretty good formula to show our sport to the world, and I think it's got a bright future.
That's awesome. Chris, thank you so much.
Cool.
It was always a real pleasure to watch you climb, and thanks for coming
great
and
to
joining
see
us.
you guys.
Thanks
Yeah,
so
Chris.
much.
Thanks for all you've done, Chris.
Of course, We'll see you guys next year.
All right,
cheers.
for sure.
Excellent.
Take care.
All right, big thanks to Chris Sharma for stopping by, giving us his thoughts on the events tonight.
That's right. I mean, he is the one responsible, really, for bringing this here.
All right. Wow, we're just trying to catch our breath here, Chris. We started a few hours ago after a little bit of a rain delay, and as usual, the comp just gets going, and it's over before you know it. Michaela Kierch coming out on top of the women, a super strong performance. Like Chris said, she had to be so dialed in and execute so perfectly, and Michaela did just that to win it for the women, and then Jan Hojer for the men. But we're trying to pull away from the poolside area and get some thoughts from him before we go off the air here. We will have awards as well coming up. Pretty interesting trophy that they're giving out this year. Really cool artistic design, so something for the competitors to look forward to taking home for Jan and Michaela.
Yep. I think what Chris brought up was interesting, the Olympics, because in my view, I think having the Psicobloc format for the Olympics would probably be the best. It's just so much fun to watch, and it does combine, in a way, bouldering, lead climbing, sort of, even though there's no rope, and certainly speed. That's not happening, but but hey, we can still all celebrate that we made it to the Olympics. That's just awesome. And it's cool how Chris Sharma's vision is to also include Psicobloc as part of the world of climbing. I mean, we have the bouldering already, we have the lead, we have the speed, and Psicobloc really is its own thing, and it's going to move on to other venues in the world.
I mean, that's the beauty of climbing. There's a space for everybody. You know, everybody has their different interests in climbing. There's a space for everybody to enjoy climbing as they see it. And the competition varieties kind of reflect that. If you're into speed climbing, sport climbing, bouldering, you can kind of choose your path in life. And the Seco Comp, like you said, kind of wraps all that up together in a really exciting format. And it's been really fun the last 4 years here in Park City. See the comp evolve. And the first year was kind of like this new idea. You know, had been tried a few times in Europe. And things like that, but in the U.S. it was a new format, and it has proven to be really exciting over the years.
Yeah, and what's really interesting to me, Brian, is that most of the people who excel here at Psicobloc not only are competition climbers, but they have real rock experience, which is almost irrelevant in most other competitions, but in this one it actually seems to come into play.
And speaking of one of those well-rounded climbers, as excellent in competition and outdoors, is Jan Hojer, our men's champion for this year. Jan, welcome to the booth here. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to see you in here, and it was so fun to watch you on every single round. Tell us what it was like.
Well, the route's pretty hard, so after I flashed it yesterday, I got super pumped on my second go, so I wasn't sure if I have it in me to do it 4 times a day. And Nathaniel really challenged me in the final round. Like, I know. It was a really close win. I just saw pictures of us reaching for the lip and I was half a hand in front or whatever, so he really challenged me and I had to try super hard to come away with this victory.
That was an amazing thing to watch. What prepared you to win here tonight?
I think in order to be prepared, it's important to be good at both bouldering and lead climbing, and both Nathaniel and I both have experience in lead World Cups and bouldering World Cups, because you have to be strong enough and athletic enough to do the moves like the fastest way, and you need a bit of endurance to top the route and do it 4 times a day.
Wow. Yeah. God, what just an amazing skill set that's required.
Yeah, so this is your second Psicobloc win. Is this going to become a habit for you winning these comps? Sorry? Is this going to become a habit for you winning these deep water soloing comps?
Yeah.
We can live
no,
with
well,
that.
as you've just seen, Nathaniel was so close to go home with the gold medal, and I'm really happy that it's my second win in the row, and I'm psyched to go to Milano this year if they I don't know, somehow string together the event like for a second year in a row, and I hope to go for the triple and get 3 gold in 3 competitions.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll be great to see. Well, congratulations on your victory, and it's great to see you out here. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jan. Great show.
Thanks.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, congratulations to Jan Hojer, men's champion here at the 2016 Psicobloc Masters, putting on an incredible performance. And as he noted there, Chris, he actually didn't fall the entire competition.
Good point.
Which none of the other men can say, because Nathaniel fell on his last attempt there. Just an incredible finish for the men. Jan and Nathaniel neck and neck until Nathaniel fell just at the last second. Jan slam dunking the finish for an authoritative victory.
Yeah, that was, like Sharma said, a photo finish. Yeah, it was amazing.
We are just getting ready for our award presentation.
Oh yeah, look at this.
It's going to be a unique presentation this year. Actually getting one of the boats that was moored on the side of the pool out into the water for the presentation. Be interesting to see how this is actually going to work.
I wonder if this is the first time in America they've ever done an award ceremony on a boat.
I'm going to go, yeah. See them getting in position here.
Bringing it front row, poolside, baby.
And while we wait for that, Chris, I have to say a big thank you to the staff here at the pool. They've been super helpful all weekend, especially the lifeguards and EMTs that are on staff here, in position just in case anything happens with the climbers. Thankfully, everybody stayed safe tonight.
We did not require the assistance of the on-site scuba diver, thankfully.
It's always a good sign when the lifeguards stay dry.
I'm sorry. Do you know where they're doing? I was on the boat? No!
Getting the boat in position here for the award ceremony. This is interesting. I wonder if they're doing a comp for pulling the boat by hand.
Well, Michaela Kierch was just over here. She didn't sound too excited about getting on a boat right now.
Having finally just dried off.
Thanks so much for everybody for sticking around. So much God and so much effort in each and every part of this talk. It means the world that you guys came out. It means the world that you're saying. All right, as an added little bonus, our good buddy, Miguel Rivera and Damian Breyer, are going to join the boat with us, and Stephen Jeffries. There are setters that made all this possible.
Well, a lot of folks are actually starting to trickle out of the Utah Olympic Park, but the ones who are staying are just getting rowdier, Brian.
That's how it tends to go here, Chris. Closer it gets to midnight.
Yep.
Things start to get weird. Like having, like... All right, we are ready for our awards. Let's go to our house MC, Ander Rockstead. Take it away, Ander.
Arriba! Venga, Donnie. All right. Those are our setters. Let's give it up for those setters. Woo! Made all this possible. Our local boy, Stephen Jeffries, helping out. We flew in 2 Spanish stallions. What's that? All right, all right. We're going to build up these awards. Once again, those are made by a local artist. These are custom. He welded up little walls, little glass hanging climbers. Always everything thought out through here at Psicobloc. You couldn't ask for anything better, right? Yeah, get up here, Tim. We've been having fun all night. Tim Emmett here, always having a party with me, giving me someone to banter with so I don't just yell at everybody.
Hey, this really is the party boat.
Yeah.
I like it.
We're on a boat. We're on a boat with Miguel. We're on the boat with Danny, Steven. We're building up some awards.
Hey,
all right. So Danny Andrada, one of our route setters that we flew in from Spain, he's got to be probably the most prolific sport climbing first ascensionist of all time. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of 13B8As and harder. He's put Spain on the sport climbing map that it is right now. So when everybody's doing their Spain trip, basically they got Danny to thank for it. Then we got Miguel, total visionary and bringing Psicobloc climbing. He's from Mallorca. He's from the epicenter. We brought him in to help us set these routes, divide the field literally perfectly. You couldn't have asked for something better. Brought our Spanish stallions, and of course, we brought in none other than the legendary local setter, Stephen Jeffries. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better power team than that, and they did exactly that. They literally delivered the perfect routes that divided the field in the perfect way that gave you a running show until the last second. So big ups to those guys. We're going to let them do the honorary presentation to our winners, Jan, Hojer, and Michaela. So let's get them up here. Whenever they feel like it, that is. Man, the amount of work these dudes did. Michaela, come on over. Let's get you on the boat. Get that girl on the boat. Yeah, she's already scared of the water. We made her jump off many times. Now we got her hanging out on the boat. All right, who wants to give her the trophy? Where's our women? Oh, Miguel, ever the ladies' man. He's going to give out the ladies' trophy. Oh, we're going to put it back together. This thing is cool. We're going to help this girl pay for her tuition for college. We're giving her a trophy. She put it up a heck of a performance tonight for us. So how cool is that? Give it up for Michaela. Give it up for Michaela. As with custom art, it needs to be treated with tender love and care. All right. All right, awesome. Jan, where you at? Where is Jan Hojer? There he is. Yeah, oh, super fragile. Nice one, Jan. Super rad. We got a super rad trophy for you from none other than climbing legend Danny Andrada. Flew out here from Spain. Just the definition of fanatico. Put Spain on the sport climbing map. It is literally an honor to stand next to this guy. All right, let's give it up for Jan Hojer, your men's champion. He came and he stole our money, but wait, we love him anyways. Nice one. All right, you guys have been a fabulous crowd. Thank you so much for making 2016 Psicobloc Masters one for the books, one to be remembered. Last year we got rained out. This year we took it to the next level. You can only imagine what we're thinking for next year. Thank you so much to Mountain Hardware for helping us put this on, for the Utah Olympic Park for giving us literally the perfect venue to do such an activity. And for Walltopia for erecting this wall in no time. And it's going to be open to the public. So come up, have a blast. Danny's
All right, Chris Widener, that's going to do it for another year of the Psicobloc Masters. As always, an interesting and exciting night. Never know what you're going to see at the PsychoComp.
That's right, Brian. You never know. Jimmy Webb was out for the men early on. Jan Hojer, new to this comp here in the States, took the men's title.
And Michaela Kierch taking it wire to wire for the women. Congratulations to all the competitors, especially our two champions. And with that, we're going to sign off for the evening. Big thank you to the Utah Olympic Park, all the sponsors, workers, everybody that helped put this event on, the entire Louder Than 11 crew. You guys are the best. Wow. What a night, Chris.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in at home. We will see you next time. Good night.
Good night.